Can it be your faith in
Yo, what is up, everybody? Just thought I'd play the intro just because I need a specific intro for the Beyond Legend, podcast. But how you guys doing? Still working on getting the right camera angle for all this. We made a lot of changes to the background, so things are a little different. First episode of the new year, episode 9, before the 10th episode. I'm excited, super excited about this. I'm gonna have Murphy. I'll probably have Murphy and Brago on for episode 10 because that's gonna be like a highlight. That's gonna be a huge highlight for us. So definitely excited about that. Squid Game season 2 was amazing. The Fox News stuff is insanity. There's just a lot to talk about. Right? So one, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Good to see you guys. The studio, actually, I need to close that. I don't even know why I got that closed. But yeah, the studio's gone through a lot of changes, right? Got a couch in the back. Yeah, the Emmanuel Acho, people say, so it's crazy. It's crazy now because I'm looking at like, it's crazy because I'm looking at myself and me and Acho got the same beard, the same hair, the same mustache, and we're both Nigerian. So it's like when that person made that tweet about me looking like Acho, I was like, bro, this is insanity, bro. This is insanity. I was like, man, we can't do all this. I think we'll save the Hunter x Hunter talk for the next episode. We'll talk about that. There's many things we could talk about. So we need a whole episode dedicated to the front man. He'll be, bro, I'm telling you, Squid Game season 2 is insanity, right? So there's a lot we need to talk about. And if you guys want to start with Squid Game, we can talk about that, right? I was hoping to have Chuck. I was hoping to have Chuck here. I ain't gonna lie. Not Chuck. I was hoping to have I was hoping to have Chuck, Scape, and Wallace because they both watched Squid Game. I might be able to talk to Wallace because I do want to talk to someone. I do want to like recap Squid Game season 2 with somebody just to get a different perspective. So let me check on Wallace. And see. The Skip allegations are crazy. Jay, you got a chance with Joy? Chill out, bro. I don't want to deal with I don't like women that see men as toys to use. They scare me. He said, "Who's Chuck?" 1 second. Let's talk about Squid Game real quick. No Squid Game spoilers. Hey man, the title says Squid Game season 2. If you haven't watched Squid Game, you shouldn't be here. All right. Well, we're not gonna take that long. But we gotta talk about it. Oh, you came for the FS1 stuff? Okay. Then you guys decide. Would you guys like the Fox Sports stuff first? Front man of Squid Game also did a Rush Hour parody with Diddy. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, that's wild. I'll let the chat decide. What do y'all want to start with? What would you guys prefer to start with? You want to start with the Fox stuff? Okay. They're saying they want to start with the Fox stuff. All right, so let's get the lawsuit out. Squid Game, we got the Fox stuff. FS1, yeah, they saying FS1. Yeah, yeah, okay. Everyone's saying FS1. All right, let me get this lawsuit out. Hold on. Let's get this lawsuit out because the Fox stuff is insanity. Oh, it's Payne. Oh, what's up, Payne? Yeah, let's talk about that. You know what's funny, bro? You know what's funny? You know who'd be the perfect person to talk to about this? Dustin. Dustin would be Dustin. Dustin, boy, that boy Dustin. All right, hold on. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up and see if I can get the link to the lawsuit because we got to go through some of this stuff in the lawsuit, bro. We gotta go through some of this stuff in the lawsuit. Let me scroll up a little bit because we was having a field day. Wallace sent it to. Remember, Wallace sent it to my burner. I remember. Hold on, let me go grab that. Wallace sent it because I think it's important that we don't talk about gossip. We talk about what the lawsuit says. And we stay focused on that because that's important. And for some of y'all that haven't seen the lawsuit, that don't know the full details, I need y'all to hear this because it's going to shake your spirit. Skip Bayless, I think, in terms of reputation damage, right? If Virgo's around, I'll pull Virgo in. I ain't even gonna lie. If Virgo had watched Squid Game, I would have done this episode with Virgo. I would have done this episode with Virgo, but he hasn't. Not a lot of people have finished Squid Game season 2. All right. Okay. Jay, do you know what Jason Whitlock is capable of? Yo, the way Jason Whitlock was talking, boy. Yo, my man, he called her the peanut butter skin. The big rack with the peanut butter skin. I said, Lord, someone get Jason Whitlock out of here, man. That man was tripping. He said, yeah, I stayed away from her because I knew what I was capable of. I said, Whitlock, get your... I said, Whitlock, get out of here, nigga. Whitlock is crazy, boy. That boy, yo, first of all, peanut butter skin is one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, do you know how hungry and famished you have to be to describe a woman as someone having peanut butter skin? Like, imagine me talking trash about a girl, right? And disparaging a girl that I'm throwing shade at. And I'm like, yeah, man, that delectable mulatto chocolate mousse woman with the voluptuous lips. Yeah, her. I stayed away from her. The chocolate mousse mulatto. What is going on? See, I don't know what is up with these things. Anyway, you know, I would have had to stay away from that. I couldn't do all that. Bro. And he said it too with a straight face, the big rack. I'm like, we get it. They said even when talking about women, he thinks about food. It's true. I just don't understand. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, behave, brother. He could have said anything, but he said peanut butter. That man was rubbing his hands together like Birdman. Boy saying muy bien in his head. Peanut butter skin is crazy, chat. I don't think y'all understand. That man was hungry for Joy Taylor. He was hungry. He saw Joy Taylor as a delicious meal. Nah, JD Acho tweet was wild because why the bro do you like that? The sad part is it's not the first time. My barber calls me Acho. Unfortunately, I'm not beating those allegations. No matter how hard I try, like I've been called Vinicius Jr., I've been called Samuel and Titi, I've even been called Greg Oden at this point. So I've been disrespected enough. But Emmanuel Acho is one of them things where it's like same hair, same beard. I've been called Oprah side, same mustache, same complexion. The only difference is that nigga 6'1" and a linebacker. Yo, and I was doing carving. Oh, Brago, chill out. Brago, chill out. Chill out, Brago. Brago, chill out. I know what you can do, dog. I need you to calm down, nigga. Yo, nah, Brago. Yo, Glam, get him out. Brago, you might have to ban him, dog. I ain't gonna lie. You might have to ban Brago. You might have to ban that nigga, dog. You might have to get him out of here, yo. Yo, he said, nah, JD haircut ain't that crispy. I mean, listen. The woman that was doing his haircut, that was Skip Bayless's boo. That was Skip Bayless's boo, you know? Well, that's the thing. I can't do this to a fellow. Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? So, it's at a point where I just have to accept the allegations for what it is. And everybody's like, oh, you look exactly like this. So apparently I looked exactly like 5 different niggas. How about I just look like JD? How about that? Huh? How's that? That sounds nice. Huh? Oh, yeah, you look exactly like Vinicius Jr. Oh, wow. Acho? Umtiti? Yo. How about I just look like a regular nigga? How about that? Yeah, Skip Bayless said no joy. Okay, so anywho, before I crash out more, this man said JB looking like Acho MTT put together with Venetia's eyes, nigga, I'm a Chimera. Okay, you know what? This is why, you know what? Abraham Lincoln made a mistake freeing the slaves. This is crazy. These niggas. You can't let them out. You can't do it. Anywho. I look like Usher. Now that's a compliment, but still, I don't look like Usher. I have self-awareness. Anywho, let's read this. Let's read this because let's go over some checkpoints. All right, so let's go over some checkpoints of the lawsuit. Now, I wonder, I won't get copyrighted if I share this, right? I don't think I will. I don't think, yeah, because I'm wondering if I should I read it out to y'all or should I put it on the stream? I'm debating. I do think the video of Acho smelling his fingers post Joy driving, that's what I'm saying. That was insane. Yeah, all right, so let's not share it because we could get struck down. You'd be surprised. All right, so let's first of all, let's be informed, right? The lawsuit is she's suing Fox. First of all, we got 5 likes on the stream and there's 147 people here. I understand we getting a little lazy with the like button for 5 is crazy. All right, let's at least get that up to 22 or something. I don't know, bro. But anywho, Notion Faraji is the woman that is suing Fox, Charlie Dixon, which is an executive. Oh, the lawsuit is public? Okay, so then I can. All right, cool. So, she's suing Charlie Dixon, which is the executive that Joy Taylor was allegedly sleeping with, Skip Bayless, an individual, and Joy Taylor herself, right? And it's a class action suit. So it says 34. Okay, so then maybe it's just not showing it up on my end. So the class action is suing the entire corporation, multiple people at once, for failure to pay minimum wages, failure to pay overtime wages, failure to reimburse business expenses, failure to pay all wages upon separation, failure to furnish accurate itemized wage statements, and unlawful, unfair, and fraudulent business practices, right? We can get Joyous 37. We can get there at least. Individual complaints, right? So these are the individual complaints that she has with these people. Sexual battery, hostile work environment, hostile environment for race and gender, and then sex and gender. Sex for race and national origin, and then sex and gender, hostile work environment, disability, failure to prevent harassment, negligent supervision, hiring and retention, retaliation, and wrongful termination. So these are pretty strong allegations, right? These allegations are pretty strong. I ain't gonna lie. So let me share with y'all. Let me show y'all a little something. All right. So let me put this. I'm gonna put this at the bottom so you guys can see this. Right. Y'all won't be able to see it too well, but it'll be here. Right. So let's read. The summary of the action is important. Because now I was having a conversation with this about this with Brago, and we were like, who's gonna get the most damage from this? And I thought it would be Charlie Dixon because he's the most vile one out of everyone here, let's be honest. But Joy Taylor her reputation might be cooked. I think her reputation is cooked. Ms. Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace. Ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Ms. Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them, while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicitly promoted. This case thus represents yet another of a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. This language is strong. Ms. Faraji also brings forth an action on behalf of herself and Fox's current and former non-exempt hourly employees employed in California, class members beginning the years, yada, 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 for all the things that I mentioned, right? The failure to pay employee wages, all of that. You can read that in the class action, right? That's the summary. Now, getting to the factual background. So, yeah, hold on. Let me see if there's anything I want to list here so you guys can. Yeah, okay. The factual backgrounds. So these are alleged facts, right? We are at alleged facts. Just zoom in a bit. Yeah, I can 100% zoom in a bit. I can 100% zoom in a bit. That should be good for y'all. Y'all should be able to see that just fine. Yeah, this is alleged. This is it. Miss Faraji is hired. So she was hired in 2003. But no. So she was working at the Jose Elba hair salon. She was working at a hair salon, high profile clients. And then she started working around 2010. She was introduced to a coworker, former president of entertainment of Fox. That's probably how she got her gig. Yep. A makeup stylist who would do Miss Walden's hair. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so she was recommended for a position at Fox, and then she was hired as a part-time employee. When hired, Ms. Faraji was asked to bring her own tools for work. She would later discover all her co-workers received a kit fee for bringing their own tools. She did not get a kit fee till 2019, 7 years after she started working for Fox. Toxic, right? In addition, Ms. Faraji was a hairstylist. Her supervisor, Gina Peretti. Now, Gina Peretti, this is a name that's going to be important. This is going to be a name that's important in the suit. So I need y'all to lock in with this, right? Miss Peretti was known to be difficult, and it was best to judge. It was best to just comply with her requests accordingly throughout her tenure. All right, that's important. Okay, so she started this work at 2016. I've read this whole thing, so I'm going to point out the important parts that you guys will want to see, the juicy details, the meals, right? In 2016, Ms. Faraji met Ms. Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. Right? 2016, March 2016. I want to make a note. Let the chat be heard. Let the chat hear. Joy Taylor was married 2016. Married. At the time, Ms. Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-by-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Ms. Taylor told Ms. Faraji that she recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Ms. Taylor then befriended Ms. Faraji, right? Locked in. This was Undisputed was about to start around this time because that's really when it happened. Yeah, that's it, right? In approximately May of 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As executive vice president, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. All content and production. So this is, you know what I'm saying? It's the big boss, right? He's just responsible for overseeing it all. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margs, Miss Faraji asked, who was he? Miss Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Just a friend. Following that night, when Miss Faraji would meet with Miss Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Miss Taylor. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's a little questionable. Well, not even questionable. I've thought about this for a long time. And as someone that's been in a work environment before and has seen co-workers that everybody and their mama believes there's something going on and they say nothing's going on or that they're just friends, 9.5 out of 10. There's 9.5 times out of 10 there's something going on. Maybe 8. Because I am a genuine believer in where there's smoke, there's fire. And I also believe in boundaries. Right? If you're married, you just have certain boundaries. If you're taken, you just have certain boundaries. If you're both single, that's one thing. Y'all can do whatever you want. That's on y'all. It's on your prerogative and what you believe. But that was fishy, right? Jay's into politics. This ain't politics. This is just a lawsuit. I ain't discussing politics. Now there is a Now there is a case. There are other circumstances as well where the girl's really just using them for attention or, you know, all that stuff. So it's stuff like that. Anywho, let's keep going. He would always buy rounds of drinks or food from their body language. Miss Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other, and although this concerned Miss Faraji as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. Here we go. Thanks, Eris. Appreciate it, man. 1 month later, approximately in June 2016, while at work, Miss Faraji noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Faraji found Miss Taylor and told her excitingly, "The guy who always buys his drinks is in the elevator." Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Faraji, explaining who he was. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. Miss Faraji continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. Nasty business. Was Acho married? No, I don't believe there is no statement that Acho was married. Right? This is 1 month later, July 2016. Word spread amongst Fox employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal, as it would star Mr. Bayless and Shannon Sharp, Mr. Sharp. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Mr. Fox announced that Miss Taylor. Here's where it gets really. This is it. This is where it gets big, right? This is where things kind of get. This is where the memes start coming from, right? Miss Taylor, who was a bartender and a radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Right? Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Faraji that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show, but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Mrs. Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. So mind you, Mr. Dixon wasn't there. This was a dinner between Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless. And Joy wore provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. Just to let you know. When that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. So, she basically tried to butter up Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless said no. How do we feel about that? Hey, man. Skip is clean? Skip ain't cleaning this. Hold on. We gonna get to Skip. He said Sigma Skip. Oh, you know what? I love it. I love it. I love it. Glam, I love this chat because they're seeing the W's of Skip Bayless now. Bro was focused. It's okay, chat. Don't even spoil for him. Don't spoil for him. We gonna get to Skip. We gonna get to Skip. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. Oh, we gonna get to Skip. Yeah. I hope Brago's still here because when Brago talks about this on the Grove with his boys, it's gonna be 10 times funnier. Y'all don't miss that Grove episode. Don't miss it. Don't miss that Grove episode. I'm putting it on right now. Don't miss it. Brago, I want a reminder to know when it comes on because I gotta hear the niggas talk about it. I have to. If he's still here. Please, don't miss it. Anywho, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. Around 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband, and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Mrs. Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Mrs. Taylor's husband found evidence of their inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. Part of me wants to know how they figured that out. Part of me wants to figure out how he figured it out. It must have been vibes. He was there to watch it all. So, they got divorced. They got divorced. His gut knew, or you think Faraji snitched? Faraji might have snitched. No is no. He probably had that feeling, bro. That's what I'm saying. He probably just knew. It's always a gut feeling with this stuff. And that's one thing I've learned is like, you always have a gut feeling about something. You're just like, something's not right. Something's not right. It's just not right. So we continue on. In approximately September 2016, Undisputed started. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. In approximately November 2016, after not allowing anyone to touch his hair, Mr. Bayless also requested Miss Faraji to do his hair. Okay, here we go. Right? Here's where Mr. Dixon, the guy that Joy Taylor is sleeping with, this is where he becomes a gremlin. He's a freak of nature. It's a nasty man. On January 14, 2017, it's the new year, Miss Taylor had a birthday party at Pearl's rooftop in West Hollywood. Miss Faraji and the other Fox employees who were invited attended as it was part of their job and duties to appease talent, and a birthday party is an important event. As usual, Mr. Dixon was heavily drinking, buying drinks for everyone on a Fox credit card, and blustering that everything was purchased on Fox's dime. As Miss Faraji was standing near the bar, facing the crowd, Mr. Dixon approached her. He asked the bartender for a drink and then placed his arm on Miss Faraji's lower back. Freak. He asked how she was doing and if she was having fun and if she wanted a tequila shot. Miss Faraji felt very uncomfortable by his unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Mr. Dixon then moved his hand lower and started rubbing her body and grabbing her buttocks. Freak. Freak. With a capital F. Miss Faraji was mortified. By the way, trigger warning. Trigger warning for everyone. I want to be respectful. Miss Faraji was mortified, but quickly thought of a fake incoming call to escape from the situation. Sad. Tragic. Mr. Dixon is a freak. Miss Faraji did not know who to turn to. Here's where joy gets bad. Miss Faraji did not know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded to, "Get over it." Get over it. Joy Taylor. And explained that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Faraji only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. She warned that Mr. Dixon could take both away. There's two criminals here. Mr. Dixon, the mastermind, Joy Taylor, the accomplice. The accomplice. Sick man. Miss Faraji was terrified and then turned to her coworker, Anonymous, to discuss the situation. Anonymous responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting and that the entire situation was sick, but it wasn't shocking given Fox's culture, and that Miss Faraji should remain quiet if she wanted to keep her job. As a single mother who needed to support her son, Miss Faraji had no choice but to remain silent. Let's keep moving on. Got 7 years later, Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji that she did not like her or anything about Undisputed. This is her supervisor. Okay. Mr. Dixon gets rid of a female talent for refusing to have sex with her. So I'll summarize this. But long story short, oh yeah, this is important. This is another important thing, right? Yeah, this is important. So there was an anonymous female talent member that told Miss Faraji that she would no longer be with Fox, and Mr. Dixon told her that she would need to have sex with him if she wanted to renew her contract, but she refused. Anonymous had conveyed Mr. Dixon was doing this to other women talent, and she should warn Miss Taylor to be careful. And a talk show host had recently reported Mr. Dixon. Okay, we have all of this. Again, Mr. Dixon, freak of nature, a creature of the night, right? Following the lunch, Miss Faraji called Miss Taylor to convey what Anonymous had stated. Miss Taylor responded to that saying no one gives an F about Anonymous or the talk show host who had reported Mr. Dixon. Miss Faraji later observed that Miss Taylor's remark appeared accurate as no actions were taken to address the concerns raised. If it was not already apparent, it became even more clear that Fox enabled higher-ranking individuals to abuse their authority, exerting undue control over female talent and employees. It's a dark place here. Fox is a dark place, y'all. All right, now we're into the Skip Bayless part. Now we are here. Now we talk about Skip Bayless. Now, Mr. Bayless begins to give Miss Faraji lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing against her breasts. Trigger warning again. After the reporting by the talk show host fell on deaf ears, Mr. Bayless began requesting that Miss Faraji gave him a haircut once a week in the makeup room. Miss Faraji did as she was told, as Miss Peretti required Miss Faraji to give haircuts to talent. Initially, during the haircuts, Mr. Bayless would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and innocuous matters. However, soon after the weekly haircut started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuses to touch Miss Faraji. He would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breasts. He then began to kiss her on the cheek. Miss Faraji was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make excuses to leave right after the haircuts. Approximately in summer 2017, Miss Faraji was giving Mr. Bayless a haircut, and he told her that she was voluptuous. As English is her second language, she was not familiar with the word. Miss Faraji asked what it meant. Mr. Bayless seemed amused and told her to figure it out. She then later asked another coworker, and she was mortified. Then, Mr. Bayless then started being more aggressive and direct in his advances. Miss Faraji continuously declined, stating that she did not date at work and she was a single mom and needed a job. Right? So Miss Faraji was terrified. She was scared that Skip would risk her job, yada, 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 right? Then she had her hours cut for being on medical leave, some just real shady stuff happening, right? And then Miss Faraji, she was on Undisputed, then asked to join the herd. And this is important again. This is important for Joy Taylor, right? This is important. In approximately summer of 2018, Miss Taylor was moved from Undisputed to the herd with Colin Cowherd. Miss Taylor again requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. Colin, Mr. Cowherd, also requested Miss Faraji do his hair. Thus, every day, Miss Faraji would do Mr. Bayless's hair for Undisputed. Then he would do Mrs. Taylor's hair, and then he would do Mr. Cowherd's hair for the herd. Throughout her entire tenure at Fox, Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful to Miss Faraji and co-workers. Code from Colin Cowherd. Code from him. Moral excellence. You love to see it. Around this time, after learning Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon's sexual relationship, Miss Taylor's then fiance broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in an informal exchange for her fiance's silence. So, Joy Taylor had a husband, cheated on her husband with Mr. Dixon, got divorced, was engaged, continued to sleep with Mr. Dixon, and then her fiance broke up with him. It was so bad that Mr. Dixon had to pay off the wedding deposits of the fiance not to snitch. This was in 2018. And I think the fiance was Earl Watson, if I'm not mistaken. Nasty business. Nasty business. There is this Bobby Diaz guy who's really just a freak of nature. Yeah. Oh, okay, so Jackal's got some extra news. Joy Taylor got engaged to Earl Watson, basketball player and Suns coach, in 2017. In 2018, bought a $2.5 million house, then canceled their engagement in November 19. It was Earl Watson. Yep, Earl Watson. Yep. So there's this Bobby Diaz guy who's really just racist, a coke addict, and a sexual harasser. Then, all right, so here we go. Here's the Acho part. Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on a show. This is 2020. Mind you, this is 4 years of whole prime whole activity. That's 4 years. 4 years. In approximately February 2020, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho, Mr. Acho. Miss Faraji did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway while at work. Miss Faraji later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. As Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also very powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through with her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Two years later, Miss Taylor started working on Speak. And then Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair again. Nefarious, devious, mischievous and deceitful, chicanerous and deplorable. Nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty work. Let this be a lesson to y'all as well. If you think people aren't listening, they are. It's a hairdresser. They probably didn't think she mattered. That's why they told her all, because like she don't matter. But the hairdresser knows everything that's going on. That's it. That's it. So let's continue on. All right. I think we've got that's about the worst of joy, I believe. Now it's time for Skip Bayless. Y'all about to, like I said, you know what? Let's move on. All right. Miss Faraji believes she has cancer, conveys this to Mr. Bayless in an attempt to stop his advances, only to have him offer $1.5 million to have sex. Read the ethnicity part. Hold on, because if you want to read the ethnicity part, we can go over that, but just a summary. There was a Fox employee at an informal dinner that grew enraged with Miss Faraji and called her a Persian. She said, F you, you Persian B word. The dinner ended and Miss M broke a glass and threatened to harm herself. That's okay. All right. That's insanity. Okay. Anywho, the Skip Bayless thing. Over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances of Miss Faraji, lingering hugs, kisses on the cheek, inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced to having sex. Miss Faraji would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. In July 2021, Miss Faraji developed issues with her left ovary and was advised it could be cancer. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. Miss Farage panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she has a child and that she does not want to be with him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Miss Farage made an excuse to leave. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance at Miss Farage. Miss Farage responded, "Skip, stop. You have a wife, Ernestine. What about Ernestine?" Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" Miss Farage responded that her father was dead. I just wanted to pause a little bit for dramatic effect. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. And y'all were saying W skip in the chat. And y'all was saying W skip in the chat. Hey, man. He said Vince is way, yeah, Vince McMahon is way worse. Way, way worse. Right? And for you guys, for the context of the 1.5, it's not a lump sum of 1.5 million. Obviously, it's a contract. So we're probably thinking like $500K a year, 3-year contract, something like that, you know. Think basketball terms. But yeah. Something like that. Right? She'd be on a payroll, basically. So that's Skip Bayless. Right? He said, well, I'll be damned. Exactly. Miss Farage's job is threatened because she did not sleep with Mr. Bayless. It only gets worse from here, guys. Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farage, "I'm good today." That text meant that he wouldn't be coming in for hair and makeup. Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farage, "Not comfortable coming down there. Just do what you need to do. It's okay." Miss Farage asked him what was wrong. He replied, "Same stuff. Worse." Miss Farage, concerned about her job, walked to Mr. Bayless's fitting room to see if everything was okay. Mr. Bayless answered the door, and before Miss Farage could speak, he began to angrily accuse Miss Farage of sleeping with Shannon Sharp. Miss Farage tried to explain that she did not have any feelings towards Mr. Sharp and had never slept with him or any other talent or employee at Fox. But before she could speak, Mr. Bayless demanded she come to his car after the show. Miss Farage responded that she could not come and sit in his car as it was inappropriate. Mr. Bayless grew irate and then left. Whew. April 22nd. Now, guys, mind you, this started on April 12th. I want you guys to follow this. April 12th. That conversation was April 13th. April 14th, 2022. Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farage, "If you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday. But I can't keep doing this." Miss Farage told him that she was very confused. Mr. Bayless responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." Miss Farage then explained over text that she is not sleeping with Mr. Sharp. Mr. Bayless did not respond. April 15th, the next day. Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farage, "Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" Mr. Farage responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and that she will continue doing his hair. April 16th, Mr. Bayless called Miss Farage. Miss Farage, Farage. Miss Farage did not answer the call because she was scared. She then called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, Mr. Bayless again angrily accused Miss Farage of sleeping with Shannon Sharp and said he could tell from her body language that she was effing him. Miss Farage tried to explain that she was kind to all her talent and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. Miss Farage then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to the car. Mr. Bayless answered that she wouldn't talk to him like that. Miss Farage replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagina. Miss Faraji knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Miss Faraji responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharp, which she wasn't, it wouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. The next day, April 17th, Miss Faraji arrived in the makeup room, approximately 12 to 30 feet. Yeah, the makeup room, turned on a recording device, put it on the table, and waited for Mr. Bayless to arrive. In the meantime, two of Faraji's co-workers, who were privy to Mr. Bayless's actions, went into the other talent members' rooms adjacent to the makeup room to listen in to the conversation. Mr. Bayless then arrived in the makeup room for Miss Faraji to cut his hair in accordance with his regular schedule. Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states this room is bugged. During their conversation, Mr. Bayless stated that he would hate for her to lose her job, but she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival. That's the part that got Glam. Glam couldn't handle that. Doing a big thing with my arch rival, his arch rival, Shannon Sharp, Naruto to Sasuke. Indra to Ashura, Hashirama to Madara. She responded by reiterating that being polite to Mr. Sharp is part of her job. Mr. Bayless responded, "Bullshit! Bullshit! 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 I'm calling bullshit on you!" This is 2022, yes. Mr. Bayless then warned that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Miss Faraji responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because she is a great hairdresser. Mr. Bayless responded, "I have love for you. I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you are ruining this. You're ruining it. You're ruining it." Shout out to Jeds with the $2. Just like Diddy, it goes way deeper than it appears. Yes. Miss Faraji again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Mr. Bayless then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. Miss Faraji responded that she is scheduled to work every morning at 5 a.m. and if he would like to get his hair done, he is welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayless continued to threaten her job. Miss Faraji knew he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was a professional and had to be kind to all talent. This is 4 days afterwards. On April 21st, 2022, Mr. Bayless asked if Faraji would come to his home to color his hair, a side job that Miss Faraji previously would partake in when Mr. Bayless's wife was home. On this occasion, with her therapist's help, she conveyed that she would no longer be going to his home. The following week, Mr. Bayless arrived in the makeup room as if their conversations never happened. But Miss Faraji remained on edge. Miss Faraji had worsening nightmares regarding the incidents that took place with Mr. Bayless. And yeah, she had to go through therapy to deal with Mr. Bayless's behavior. Okay. They have Miss Faraji being targeted for her ethnicity and disability. Joy Taylor was openly mocking her English and mocking her humming because she had PTSD, so she hummed due to a condition with PTSD. And then Joy Taylor started saying that she wasn't good at doing her hair and that she needs black women to do her hair, even though Miss Faraji's been doing black people's hair for a while. Yeah, so that was just really weird. Joy Taylor just started acting really weird with Miss Faraji and trying to like air her out. So yeah, that was just toxic. Okay. Now here's crazy. Here's where it gets crazy, right? And I think this will probably be just about the end. Yeah, this is the end. This is basically the end of really everything. The Skip Bayless stuff. Miss Faraji participates in an internal investigation only to be singled out and taken off speak and accused of having sex with Mr. Bayless, right? In mid-July 2023, Fox Sports Vice President of Vice President of Employee Relations asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Drucker asked if Ms. Taylor was having a sexual relationship with Mr. Acho. Ms. Faraji admitted the two were in a sexual relationship. Ms. Faraji shared the information because she didn't think it was a big deal. Ms. Taylor and Mr. Acho had similar amounts of power at the time, and because she didn't think Ms. Taylor or Mr. Acho would physically harm her for providing this information, Mr. Acho had always been respectful to Ms. Faraji and never threatened to hurt her. Cold from Acho, right? We move on. At the meeting, Kelsey Doe, which is another employee of person of employee relations, told Ms. Faraji that there had been complaints of her humming. She explained that her humming was diagnosed as PTSD, a reaction from PTSD. So then Ms. Doe thanked Ms. Faraji for the information and abruptly changed the conversation and quickly asked whether she had made public comments about Mr. Dixon and Mrs. Taylor having sex. Here we go. Ms. Faraji became very scared, as Mr. Dixon had previously assaulted her and Ms. Taylor had warned her that he would fire her if she said anything, and responded that while everyone in the company knew about the relationship, she did not have any information and did not want to comment about this. Ms. Doe then tried to end the conversation and asked if Ms. Faraji had any questions. Ms. Faraji then began crying, asking why such a swift investigation took place regarding her humming, but no one cared about Ms. M threatening to kill her and all that. Ms. M is the one who called her the Persian B word, right? All of that. Right, and then that's when her supervisor said she had a pending human resources case that she didn't know about, and she was getting blackballed at that point, right? Then Skip Bayless was asked to be a part of a meeting between the president of HR and business operations and employee relations, right? Mr. Bayless arrived with Miss Kim and Miss Drucker. I'm not going to say their last names. Well, I said one of them. Told Mr. Bayless not to worry and that his job was safe. Key words here. The two then started interrogating him on whether he had a romantic relationship with Miss Faraji and whether she had offered him sex. When Mr. Bayless responded truthfully that she had never offered him sex, they again told him not to worry and that his job was safe, heavily implying that they wanted him to say otherwise. This circular conversation took place for approximately 20 minutes. Following the meeting, Mr. Dixon called Mr. Bayless and asked why he didn't lie. Mr. Bayless responded he cares about Miss Faraji. Mr. Dixon responded, who cares? I can get you a better looking hairstylist. Skip Bayless protected her out of love. Mr. Dixon tried to set her up. The investigation is indicative of a role of human resources and employee relations as a protector of abusers and wrongdoers. Right? So we go on there. So then, yep. In 2023, Mr. Bayless learned that Mr. Sharp and Faraji had never been involved romantically. Bro, this, yeah. All right, anyway. Had never been involved romantically, right? So then he knew. Subsequently, Mr. Bayless pulled Miss Faraji aside for a conversation. During the conversation, Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having sex with Mr. Sharp, disclosed details of his, and Skip Bayless is the one that told her of the meeting with Human Resources, and further disclosed that Mr. Dixon wants Faraji fired because she knew too much and was talking. Mr. Bayless also disclosed that he believed Mr. Dixon kept his wife on Fox's payroll to keep her silent about his affairs with Fox's employees. Mr. Bayless asked Faraji out to dinner to continue the conversation, but Faraji declined, stating that she cannot do anything that even gives an inference of a non-work relationship because she wanted to keep her job. This is in October. So this was all, yeah, okay, so this is still in October. So from August into October, Mr. Bayless told Miss Faraji that Mr. Dixon was continuing to push him to ask for a different hairstylist. But Mr. Bayless refused. Miss Faraji's diary entry for that day states, I feel desperate. I don't know how to save my job. Charlie is the big boss and I'm just a hairstylist with no power. Skip said that Joy is telling Charlie to get rid of me. That's crazy. Alrighty. All right. So then this is in December 21st, 2023. Mr. Bayless told Miss Faraji that he still loved her and confided that Mr. Dixon was the one who told him that Miss Faraji was sleeping with Mr. Shannon Sharp. So it was Mr. Dixon that started this whole thing. Mr. Bayless then again tried to have sex with Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji's diary entry for the day states, I said, Skip, I'm only interested in working with you and having a friendship relationship with you. Nothing else. He said, you have no idea. You are losing everything. I don't know what he means by that, and I hope he doesn't take me off the show. It makes me sick to my stomach, and it's really hard for me to work like this. I hope God helps me because Fox is supporting people like Charlie and Skip. Right? Here's the part. Yeah. Here's okay. So here's probably my favorite part of this whole thing, right? And then we can wrap it up here. Later that week, right? So this is on June 2024. So guys, this is just the summer. This is just last summer. A talent member disclosed to Miss Faraji that Undisputed was going to be canceled and that Mr. Bayless was going to be fired. Miss Faraji grew internally anxious that Mr. Dixon was trying to get her fired. Later that week, Miss Faraji gave Mr. Bayless a haircut. During the haircut, Mr. Bayless told her about an opportunity he was expecting outside of Fox. Miss Faraji asked if he would still be coming back to Undisputed, and he replied, of course. Mr. Bayless then told Miss Faraji that he fantasizes about having sex with her and asked her how much money it would take for her to have sex with him. Miss Faraji stated she already refused $1.5 million and that her answer wasn't going to change. Mr. Bayless replied, the more you say no, the more I want you. You know what? You know what, y'all? Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. Listen, hey. I had to play it. Listen. He said I haven't stopped laughing on stream. Listen. Y'all can't imagine. Yeah, I stopped it real quick. Y'all can't imagine how hard me and Glenn were laughing reading this. I felt like I had a bonnet on, a tub of ice cream, and a glass of wine reading this. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was reading. The more you say no, the more I want you. 6 years. Skip been working with this woman for 6 years. This is 2024, bro. Six years. On August 2nd, 2024, Undisputed was canceled. Mr. Bayless was fired and Miss Faraji was taken off schedule. Miss Peretti, her supervisor, told Miss Faraji that there was no longer a need for her. That same day, Mr. Bayless asked Miss Faraji to walk him to his car on his way out. Miss Faraji felt that she had no choice but to walk him to his car. Once at his car, they noticed Mr. Dixon in the parking lot looking at them. Mr. Bayless told Miss Faraji, F Charlie, if you want to sue them, go for it. F them. Charlie is not going to sleep tonight. He's scared of what I'm going to tell you. F him. So Skip Bayless was on full revenge mode. That same day, Miss Faraji reached out to Fox, asked why she was taken off the schedule, and she was eventually later pushed out. And that's it. That's kind of where it all ends. The rest is just her seeking justice. She hates all of them. They're all trash. At the end, let's see. Following Ms. Faraji's departure from Fox, Mr. Bayless began featuring his wife on his podcast. On information and belief, he changed the cell phone number he had maintained for many years, presumably in hopes of removing and deleting incriminating messages, presumably after receiving notice of the impending lawsuit from Fox. Shout out to DJ Perry, 199. Send Skipard to level 7. Yes. So from all of this, a lot of people in Fox are trash. Fox has a bad, toxic culture. There are some good eggs and a lot of bad ones. Skip Bayless, ironically, Skip is just a fan. At the end of the day, Skip was really just your textbook creep who didn't know how to take no for an answer, unfortunately. And Joy Taylor is a trifling hoe, is the answer to that. Charlie Dixon's a villain. He needs to be fired and he needs to be arrested. Shy-Tan is applauding Dixon, Joy, and Skip for their... Shy-Tan is crazy. But yeah. Yeah, no one's innocent. Well, no, Colin Cowherd's innocent. And Akeem Shannon was kind of innocent too. So shout out to Chris Broussard, Nick Wright, and Kevin Wiles for not being a part of this nonsense at all. Goats. All goats. But yeah, for those who weren't informed of what was going on with Fox, now you know where the memes are coming from, and now you can enjoy the memes like me and Glam have been enjoying, because it's been great. I've laughed heavily. I laughed quite a bit. Yeah, well, Chintastic, you missed basically the whole summary. Yo twin Emmanuel Acho ain't safe either. So I mean, Acho, at the end of the day, Acho was a single man doing what he did. He had an inappropriate work relationship. That's the most of his sins. He had an inappropriate work relationship. Acho ain't losing his job. They're just gonna meme him for a little bit. That's it. Yeah, it's a nice little summary. So for you guys who want to figure out what's going on, there you go. So The only wild thing Acho did was sniffing that finger 45 times. Yeah, I don't know what his plan was there. I don't know what he was trying to do. To be fair, who can say they wouldn't hit? I guess people who just, if people who are married, right? You would think people who are married or people who respect their marriage is the right term I would use, and people who respect professionalism. Those are the people that wouldn't hit. That's it. The rest, I don't know. It's on them. It's on their soul, bruh. People with morals. Yes, that's it. But here's the thing about morality. Morality is subjective if you don't hold yourself to a higher power. So people's morals change. Because some people's morals say it was just two single people having sex. What's wrong with that? That's how some people would see it. There's some people would be like, Joy just doing what she got to do. That's it. Taylor Rooks would never. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. There was niggas saying Joy Taylor would never. Well, here we are. Here we are. Here we are, bruh. Enough. Religious people don't exercise high morals too? I didn't say they did. I didn't say they did. It just depends on what you hold yourself accountable to. You can have high morals and not hold yourself accountable to them. That's what I'm saying. And plus, as humans, if they really believed in what they read, they know the human heart is inherently evil. Unfortunately. We're all capable of doing bad and terrible things. That's it. And that's where values come. This is where values are highly important. What are your values? What do you stick to? Round of applause for Miss Farage. I mean, credit to her for having the courage to speak up and to fight for her wrongful termination. 100%. Credit to her. Credit to her. It seems like she was excellent at her job. Yeah, 6 years of working in hell. I agree. More often than not, religion is a shield for people. Religion is man-made. There is no difference between religion and a political institution. They're just man-made institutions. There's no difference. It's just a way to use God to control people. That's it. I don't like the term I'm religious. I've always been uncomfortable telling people I'm religious, but I really don't like it anymore. I am pursuing a lifestyle and trying to live a lifestyle that follows Christ. That's what I'm trying to go for. I ain't there yet, obviously, as y'all can tell, but that's what I'm going for. But religion, that's a topic for another podcast. We can talk about that later. JF topic, have I seen the LiAngelo Ball song? I have, actually. It took me back to 2006, the Young Jock days. I agree with that, Jacob. Right is right, wrong is wrong. We know that already. But we live in an era where people try to redefine what right is and what wrong is. Dune Bene Gesserit stuff? Yeah, bro. Yep. Yep, definitely Bene Gesserit stuff. All right. Before we go, let me see if Wallace is here. I want to talk some Squid Game Season 2 and then wrap this episode up. That's crazy. Wallace, you here? You talked to see, you finished Squid Game Season 2, right? Oh, never mind then. I gotta leave. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Never mind. All right, so Wallace hasn't watched it. So, he didn't finish? Okay. So, Ain't no way everyone didn't know this situation was insane. L Skip, LeBron somewhere swinging that LeBron Hennessy. Yeah, he is. Oh, man. All right. All righty. Squid Game Season 2. And we've watched Solo Leveling already. Squid Game Season 2, bro. Okay. We got to talk. We got to talk about Squid Game Season 2, bro. We got to talk about Squid Game Season 2. I want to start off with the fact that I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was. I was pleasantly surprised that Squid Game Season 2 was as good as it was. Normally we expect Season 2s, especially with Netflix specials, to be misses. Normally we expect them to be misses. But how they've done Ji-hun's story, how everything that he went through in Squid Game legitimately changed him, changed his character. The fact that he never stopped for 2 years. He did not stop hunting them nonstop. I was like, bro, I respect that. They set it up. It was beautiful. It was toxic. It was crazy. But my man was on a mission. I thought it was hilarious that the guys he owed the debt to at the beginning of the season ended up working for him because he had that money. And yeah, frontman, that frontman is goated. He might be the LeBron of trolls, bro. That's crazy. Frontman was in the edit the entire time. Right? For us to finally run in to the guy that was coaxing people to go into the Squid Game, right? That guy was unhinged. That guy was unhinged beyond measure. And I think for me, the moment that shook me the most in those first 2 episodes was the boss and his underling, the guy that he officiated his wedding, bro. That rock, paper, scissors, rush roulette game was so heartbreaking. I was devastated. I was devastated. That guy's toxic. So when the boss was killed, I was sad. Then Ji-hun found him, pulled up, and when they played that game, and Ji-hun said, bro, I ain't scared of you no more. I've lived through hell. Russian roulette is a meal to me. He won the game and the dude actually killed himself. I'm like, all right, so we here. The recruiter was toxic, but he locked in. Now the acting for the show was excellent. The acting for the show was excellent. The build up to the games was good. And the real meat of the show came in. You also had the police officer as well. The police officer who's trying to look for, his brother who was the front man and all that. And his story was interesting as well. I always knew the boat captain was a snitch. The moment the boss's lackey, the underling, the guy that followed Ji-hun, the moment he acted surprised when the underling was telling him everything that was going on and gave him the full story, I instantly knew, oh, he's a snitch. He works with the games. Because he saved him. Why was he near that island to begin with if you can't even find it on the map? Why? The whole thing's a setup. They know everything that's going on already. They already knew. And Ji-hun has underestimated that. The boat guy being the snitch, I had a Chad feeling, but it was like, yeah. Everyone being soldiers was wild. Yeah, it was. I ain't gonna lie. But bro, let's talk about the cast within the games. Hold on. Do I have a list of characters? Because I got some strong opinions of some of these characters. strong opinions. Strong opinions. Strong opinions. Hold on. I just want a picture of them. If I can just get a picture of all of them. Because this, bro, okay, so, right? All right, so, for now, right? Thanos. We got to talk about Thanos. I'm going to get to Minsu. I'm going to get to Minsu. Trust me, I'm going to get to that nigga. Thanos was one of the craziest characters I've ever seen. Like, the Japanese, the broken English rapping was crazy. Yo, my lady, my dog. Oh, I choose you. Oh my God, Minsu. I was like, yo, what is going on? It was like watching Scratchman of Pooh in the Squid Game. Bro, listen. Minsu, I have never had so much more anger. I have never had so much more anger than I have watching Minsu. Never. Just weak, spineless, coward, just disgustingly spineless. The real word to come up with is the P word. I'm just trying to do better in saying aggressive words. But soft, weak, not even soft is right the word, just literally spineless coward. The way homegirl, what was her name, bro? Hold on. Not her. What was her name, bro? It was Say Me? Yeah, I think it was Say Me. Yeah, her. Bruh. The betrayal of this girl. After she stood up for him, she chose him. She even said, I just feel like you would. She believed in him. Minsu, if you had 2% more balls than you had a chance. If you had an iota, you had a semblance of testicular fortitude, you had a chance with her. Because she knew you were a coward. She knew you were weak, and she still chose to trust you anyway. And the way he betrayed her in that game, I spat on the floor. And then when she's getting attacked by that freak of nature that was with Thanos, an absolute freak of nature, a creature of the night, a loser. He has a chance to redeem himself with a bottle, jump down, something. At least hand the bottle to her. Instead, he throws the bottle, misses, and then runs away, turns around. And then she got stabbed to death and died. Bro, when she actually died and she got stabbed by that freak of nature, bro, I was Fuming. I was hot. I was hot. My head was steaming. I was so angry because she died because of this useless, spineless freak of nature. For nothing. That was supposed to be Bay. You had at least a 45 to 50% chance with the walls there. But you're a coward. Then we get to what was the trans woman's name? What is the name? Sung-hoo? Yeah, Park Sung-hoo. What's the name of the character? All right, this is pissing me off. What's the name of the character? It's so funny because apparently people are upset that a cis man played the trans character. But, like, he did a great job. He did a very good job. Did an excellent job, actually. Park Soo, okay. Hyungju, thank you. Hyungju. Hyungju was basically in an edit the entire time. Between slapping the piss out of that freaky shaman woman to encouraging our sweet baby girl. Oh, what was her name? Oh, that sweet baby girl. Oh my God, what was her name? No. Where is she? What was that? What was that sweet shy girl? Oh my God. Oh, what was her name? Yo, her death rattled my spirit. I was rattled. Like someone said in the chat, bro, I was rattled. That got me. That hurt me bad. I was very hurt by that. I was rattled by that one. I ain't gonna lie. That one hurt me really bad. But yeah. When she was locked out the door, yeah, Young Mi, when she was locked out the door, oh my God, when she was locked out the door, and oh my God, Hyungju was screaming. Oh, yeah, I couldn't take it. I couldn't. That scene hurt me bad. Yeah, that scene hurt me bad. That scene hurt me terribly. I was wounded. Yeah, she fell. I was like, no, get up. Yeah, nah, I was hurt. Okay, so there was that. First of all, big shout out to Mama. All right, the grandma, the goat, well, everyone's mom. That's auntie, bruh. Yo, Mama, bro, I'm telling you, Mama, that's it. Mama of the year. The sweet, sweet old lady. That's it. I want to go to her house to have some food. I want to go. I loved her. And her son. Mom's was goated. The son was stupid, but he loved his mom. He was just stupid. He loved his mom and was stupid. And like when he was dragged away from his mother during the merry-go-round game, I was so upset. But at the same time, he was literally dragged away. But for me, how she chose to stand and defend her son anyway, surviving, and then when he saw her son and he broke down, he shattered because he knew what had happened and what he did and that he should fight and he should have fought for her. She forgave him instantly. I love the mother. She encapsulates everything beautiful about being a mother. She had so many death flags. She encapsulated everything beautiful about a mother. So shout out to her. We got to talk about Crypto. We calling him Crypto. You know who I'm talking about. MG Coin, Crypto, yeah. Narcissist, trash. That's what he is. Narcissist trash. That's what we call him. My condolences, Doug. My condolences. I know that must have hurt. That must have hurt. Crypto was trash. We didn't like Crypto. He was a narcissist. I ain't trust him. My Queenie though, yeah. Crypto is trash. We can all agree he's trash. My queen though, my little Queenie, the pregnant girl, the little cutie patootie, pregnant. Yeah, that's Queenie right there. That's Queen. That's a tough little cookie, man. That's her. I'd be the father that stepped up. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be the father that stepped up. I would. That's Queenie right there. The club promoter was toxic, 100%. The club promoter was the worst. I think he was the worst character. Thanos was just an idiot. I didn't expect him to be a good human being from the get-go. The club promoter, he should have died first. Crypto was trash. The pregnant girl, that's Queenie, right? You know, I'd be the father that stepped up. Ji-Hung's best friend, I liked how real he was. He seemed like the most human person. Most flawed and most human person. The other Marine guy, I felt bad because PTSD is very real. But he folded. And we can't reward him. And we can't be sympathetic. He folded when it mattered most. He folded when it mattered most. We can't reward him. We can't do it. We just can't. Yeah, fake Marine. That's what I'm saying. He's trash. Unfortunately. He was trash at the end. I'm a big fan of Frontman was toxic. The moment I saw him in the games, I said, this man is playing Aizen. He's just here to play Aizen. He was toxic. He was kind, but toxic in every single thing he did. He was kind, but toxic in every single thing he did. Toxic. Just toxic. They had me laughing. I was laughing hard. I ain't gonna lie. I was laughing hard. He was literally Aizen. That's it. Bro, him sabotaging those games on purpose with the top was toxic. I said, this man, he's doing this for the love of the game. Everything he was doing was just for the love of the game. That's just toxic. He is toxicity in human form. Yeah, the moment I saw him and turned around, I said, yep, I know what this is going to be. He going to do it all over again. And the worst part is, he didn't even reveal to Junhee that he was there the whole time. So Junhan don't even know he was trolling. He faked his own death, put the mask on, and said, LOL. Toxic. Because you know you're going to take that mask off in front of him, too. Just to add an extra psychological layer of damage. I'm telling you, this guy is a master. He's a master craftsman of toxicity. This guy's a world-class gaslighter. World-class toxic technician. That's what he is. This guy's the Zidane of toxicity, bro. Elite first touch, elite composure, elite skill, elite dribbling skill. He's got the flair. He's got the football IQ. He's got it all. The Zinedine Zidane of toxicity, bro. I'm telling you, that he's a special talent. Generational talent. World class. You can't beat someone like that. Boy was toxic. Boy was toxic from minute one to the end. Toxic. I can't believe it. Best character in the show. And then he could have killed Junhong and said, you know what? I'm going to kill your friend instead. Toxic. Aizen levels of toxicity. Will Ji-Hun, if Ji-Hun ends up running, that'd be a dark ending, but it would be masterful. What about the North Korean girl? The North Korean girl, she was cold. I ain't gonna lie. She's gonna be the one that ruins the games. I can tell. She's gonna be the one. She's gonna be the one to ruin everything. She's gonna be the one. She's gonna be the one to ruin the games. And I'm curious about her story. She's gonna be the one to ruin the games, especially with the dad that has the baby that's going through cancer right now. Yeah, like that's there. She gonna ruin the games to save his life. Yep. Yeah, she's gonna be the one. So, Squid Game season 2. If you haven't watched it, it was incredible. So good. Really, really good watch. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. To wrap up the podcast, season 2, the anime of season 2, not season 2, this season of anime, I think it's winter. Yeah, it's the winter season. We got Apothecary Diary season 2, which is excellent. It's going to be amazing. Apothecary season 1 was incredible. Solo Leveling season 2 is going to be an Aura Farm bonanza. So stay tuned for that as well. I think we got Sakamoto Days. Unfortunately, that doesn't look too good. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too hot. I think there's some other, hold on, winter anime season, because Shangri-La is continuing as well. Shangri-La is continuing as well, so that's gonna stay being good. You got Dr. Stone season 2, which is gonna be very good as well. There's another series that's going on that I know is gonna be good. Yeah, I think Ubel Blot. I'll probably watch it on my own because that's gonna be mid. I know that's gonna be mid animation, but I've watched the series, so I know that's gonna be good. Zen Show might be Map Attacks. yeah. Sakamoto Days is gonna be fries in the bag, so don't expect much from Sakamoto Days. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Don't. You were looking forward to. Yeah, everyone was looking for Sakamoto Days, but. You know, just like they ruined Promised Neverland, not every anime gets his not every anime gets his just desserts, unfortunately. So y'all kind of got to hold that one. That's a shame. I'm not going to lie. When I read Sakamoto Days, it was kind of mid when I was reading it. It was kind of mid. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It was kind of mid. So, you know, to each their own. Free Ren. I don't think Free Ren's coming back this season. Yeah, Free Rent isn't this season. It's not this season, so y'all have to do something about that. What I do need is I need One Piece to be back. That's what I do need. Metal is going to be good too. I heard it's going to be good, yes. So that'll be about it. But yeah, so either next week or the week after, I'll be having Brago and Murphy on. I need to reach out to both of them and get their schedules because episode 10 is going to be the milestone. So we did first time I've done a series and actually done 10, you know, from One Piece's Real. I remember reliving the journey that barely got started. But yeah, this, you know, we're going to hit episode 10 of the podcast. That's great. Hopefully we can get to episode 20 and just keep going. This is where I really just talk about anything and everything. So thank you everybody for popping in. Send your prayers out. To Faraji, I guess. I was gonna send your prayers out to Skip Bayless, but no, don't pray for that nigga. Send your prayers out for Faraji, bro, because Fox is toxic. Squid Game season 2 was amazing. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Beyond Legend. Thank you guys so much for popping in. And I will see you guys next time. Until next time, I'm out.